Hi there, and welcome to an informative discussion on sustaining the Everglades through the improving of urban infrastructure. Brought to you by myself, Dylan Marlowe. Let's begin, shall we? Let's start off by discussing the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, or CERP for short. This plan was put into place almost 20 years ago, in the year 2000 by federal legislature, and has the main goal of restoring, preserving, and protecting the South Florida ecosystem, while equally providing for other water-related needs of the region, this including the urban water supply and flood protection. With new generations coming about, it is important to update this plan and keeping it modern by putting more fresh water into the Everglades for these new generations. Through the CRP, three main target areas are addressed in need for improvement in order to attempt to bring the Everglades back to its original state. These three project areas are flood control throughout South Florida, the South Florida urban water supply, and agricultural production in the area, each with having specific points and systems which are in need of these improvements. We will begin with flood control, and with this comes one of the most important aspects of water infrastructure anywhere, and that is canals. Like blood-flowing veins in a human, carrying the blood we need to live around our bodies, canals track water and drainage all throughout the state, even so that these canals have altered the natural water flow of the Everglades itself. However, there are four main drainage canals that run vertically along to track runoff and drainage to prevent flooding that stretches 236 miles. These canals are the West Palm Beach Canal, the Hillsborough Canal, the North New River Canal, and the Miami Canal. Because of these drainage canals, the natural flow of water has greatly been altered, thanks to urbanization. But as before urbanization in the Everglades, drainage and water runoff will flow from the central part of the state through Lake Okeechobee and then turn southwest toward the Gulf of Mexico. These canals and water infrastructure have then altered that flow into the current flow it is today, which is toward the east and west coast of Florida, with very little flowing into the Everglades. With the CRP restored plan, drainage canals will still be used. However, it will be a more balanced towards flowing back into the Everglades. Stormwater and drainage runoff can inhabit some nutrient stimulants into the water supply, mainly from agricultural runoff. These nutrient stimulants are bad news for the water supply as it neutralizes the required nutrients in the water supply. Phosphorus is the main nutrient stimulant from runoff in the untreated water supply. This is a common circumstance for agriculture, but these drained agricultural lands show annual phosphorus inputs to be at historic levels. Since this phosphorus runoff stimulates the required nutrients need in the urban water supply, the CERP called for a new system of treating this water successfully, in a way of stormwater treatment areas, or STAs for short, which are plots of land scattered throughout the Everglades in order to track phosphorus runoff and water and treat it before it returns into the urban water supply. The CERP expects these nutrient concentrations in the phosphorus to decline successfully through these STAs. These scattered STAs are usually located in the middle of a wetland, pretty secluded from urbanization, in order to prevent any untreated water from being close to urbanization. Agricultural production is a big part of the phosphorus runoff into the water supply. This being said, the water that has passed through these STAs is not 100% treated. There is still small amounts of untreated water that are lost in the translation when treating the water. This untreated water does not stay untreated, however. As it makes its way through more agricultural areas, this water will get taken in through soil and will undergo a process called silvopasturing. Now, silvopasturing is a style of cattle ranching which integrates trees into the grass vegetation of the pasture system, which contain large roots. This system of agriculture and pasturing is effective because it gives better carbon soil sequestration, which is capturing the CO2 in this atmosphere into a reservoir to treat water. This happens when the untreated water in the soil is taken in by the tree roots. Silvopasturing is said to manage the production of trees and livestock forage and be an economically viable way to improve environmental quality associated with cattle ranching in South Florida. This is an economically feasible way of preventing phosphorus runoff back into the water supply, preserving the integrity of the urban water supply. All of these improvements to the infrastructure that the CERP has planned going forward, plus the solutions coming from future generations, will keep the Everglades sustained, while also keeping the urban public sustained as well. These means of improving this urban water infrastructure is for the people and their benefit, as is the Everglades National Park Service, who has one mission, and that is to protect park resources unimpaired for future generations, as this motto also sits at the forefront of the Conservation Everglades Restoration Plan. I thank you for your time in joining me in this detailed discussion of sustaining the Everglades through improving our urban infrastructure. Thank you.